Good evening, my wonderful people. Good evening, how are you doing? I trust you are all doing fine by the grace of God. Um, Let me know if you are there. Let me know, just say hello, say something so that I know I'm not talking to myself. How are you all doing? How has your week been so far? I trust good. You are all welcome. Welcome to another edition of Discovery Time. You are welcome. I also want to welcome the new followers, the new people that have joined us. You are all welcome. Please help us do what we do best. Help us spread the word. We are live and we are live. Help us tag someone. you know it's always good to be here. Let's tag everyone. um Call the Calvary in, spread the word. It's another edition of Discovery Time. Yes, where we unravel, where we unlearn and relearn, both old and new things. We are never too old to learn, no one is ever old to learn. So you are all welcome. Good evening, happiness. Just seeing your name makes me happy. How are you doing? Good evening, Ify. Wow. Nice to see you too. You're welcome. How are you doing? My day has been fine so far. My day has been fine, thank you. And yours, how are you all doing? I trust fine. The days are running. Honestly, I keep saying it every week. Even today, my daughter was like, "I can't believe tomorrow is already Thursday." Like, yes, it's really running. You know, um, I'm fine too. Thank you so much, happiness. I'm fine. Help us call in the Calvary. Let's do what we do best. Let's spread the word. It's another edition of Discovery Time. Yes. Um, well, we are going to hopefully get some insight. I've invited some guests to be here among us, so that they will help shine light a bit on the topic that we've been doing. This month, we dedicated this month to the topic renewal. And it comes in so much um, different angles that we can take it from: renewal from rest, renewal from, uh, we also said you need to take time to submit to learning, and you also need to shed off old things, shed off and learn new things if need be. Shedding off also means that you need to, give yourself, how should I say, renew your mind with things that help you to build a better character, things that help you to build up your, positive habits. At the same time, do not focus too much on your bad habits. Do you understand? Why? If the attention is so much on your bad habit, you have to recognize it so that so that you change it. But if the attention is so much on a bad habit, you will not find the courage to change it. You'll be like, well, that's just me. Let them take me as I am. Or it will be too difficult for you to change. But instead, when you learn new habits, you find yourself not, you know, that the bad habits are actually going away because you are making new ones now your habit. So you reduce the bad one without you being so conscious about it. You reduce the bad ones while you learn new ones. And that's just the best way to deal with things, especially habits. Habits are so difficult to change. So when you are focusing on the old ones, you will find it very difficult to change. Instead, focus on the new ones that you want to see, the things that you want to see. You call it forth as you want it, and you walk in it. You do your best to walk in them, so that at the end of the day, those new ones will now become the new habits, and it will overshadow the old ones. So you don't even have to think about the old ones, it will just overshadow the old ones. Good evening, Joy. How are you doing? You're welcome. How is everything? You are all welcome. God bless you. I trust your week has been fine. It's been a week. So I trust your week has been fine and that you all, are doing great despite everything. Good evening, Ademola. You are welcome too. How are you doing? Yes, I see you. I see you. I see you're watching. Thank you so much. You are all welcome. So, in a short while, I will invite in my people, and I thank God they're already online, so that you can help us shed light a bit on the topics that we've been dealing with so far. We've been dealing with renewal, and then we took it from the angle of rest. How rest is so important to us. I'm doing fine. I'm doing very fine. Thank you so much. So how rest is important to us, and that in your resting is not just lazying around. You have the parts that you rest and go on vacation and phew, steam off, reduce, remove all the steam and so forth. But it shouldn't be all that is about rest. Resting also means taking the time to examine yourself, reflect on the things that you've worked almost a whole month, a whole week, a whole year, anyhow you want to see it, and then you take rest to renew strength. You pause. And in your pause, it's not just to be like, okay, let me go out and have fun. That can be part of it. But the majority or the major part should be reflect on the past. What have I done? What have I achieved so far? And how or what can I do differently? What you did was great, awesome. But what can you do differently also? And you do that by not putting stress on yourself, just calming down. Because when your mind, when you are, at that stress level, you don't see opportunities, you don't see chances, you don't see things clearly because your thinking is overshadowed by all these other, how should I put it, maybe unnecessary um junks sometimes, so, but in your resting period, in your rest, you just cool down your mind and reflect, what are the things that I can add, that I can do differently, or that I did that were good, I want to keep. That is also there. Or things that I want to add. But you do that really being in a very restful mood. Then you see things clearly. And also by asking people around you. If they are really honest, like I said, we need to be very careful with the weeds around. Not everyone around you wants the best for you. So don't go and ask the weeds for advice, but ask those that really want the best for you. Ask those that they'll be honest with you and be able to tell you, well, I think this period was fine, especially in the area of work. You ask someone that works with you, it can be your supervisor, it can be, but let that person, if they are honest enough, give you an honest feedback. And then at home, if it is your spouse or your sister, brother, just be like, okay, just be honest with me as a brother, as a sister. How have I been doing? What are the things that you think I can do better or I should change? That really helps us, to form or have a total um, idea of who we are, because we see parts of ourselves. You know yourself, you know some things better because there are some things you don't say out, but there are things also that you think but others know better because you don't see that aspect. We don't see everything. It's not everything that we can see. I was in we had a women's program, Ladies Let's Chat, a few um at the beginning of this month, and we had Apostle Opie online, and she was reminding us about how we should be careful with the blind spots, and it's so true. We always forget the blind spots, and the blind spots are those areas that we can't see. We can't see for ourselves. If you look in the mirror, you see just what you want to see and things that is reflecting back to you. And you need to dig deeper to see those things that you need to change. But there are some things as well that we can't see no matter what we do. We can't see it. It's the others that will reflect it on us. That will tell us, hey, this part or that part or this. When you're driving car, they have that the area they call blind spot. So you need to be extra careful when you're driving, when you want to change lane, not just look in the side mirrors, because in the mirrors, there are some parts that is, the mirrors can't reach and is blinded. They call it a blind spot. And so you need to turn a bit, your neck a little bit further to see, over your shoulder, if there is someone, if there is another car or something there before you turn. It's the same thing. We don't have that access of looking over our shoulder. We have people that look, that can see behind us, in front, all angles. And if they are honest with you, they'll give you constructive feedback like, okay, this side or that side. And it should not bother us. It shouldn't bother us when they give you that feedback, because a lot of us can't handle feedback. So we just don't want it. You have some that will give you feedback that will hurt you. But even in that, just open up your mind and filter the ones that you think, okay, this one is, will be good for me, or this one I think it's relating to me, and that one I think the person was just saying it to hurt me. You will know when someone is deliberately saying things to hurt you. Good evening, Mary Danielle. You are welcome. It's the first time I'm seeing you here, I think. You are welcome. Nice to have you. Nice to have you. You're welcome. So, you know, we need to ask those questions. We need to ask people around us. And I am praying honestly for honest people. I am really praying for that, for people of integrity, people of honor, that you can look up to and ask, and they will be honest with you. Because at the end of the day, it is for our own good, and not only for you yourself, and it's not just for you yourself, but it is also for the people around you, for the good of the people around you, and for the good of whatever you want to do. So if people around us are not honest enough, or you yourself, you're not honest enough with others, it becomes a problem. And so in that resting period, we need to open up to those things. Feedback. That's the period you receive the feedback, and then you use the resting time to digest, filter through, digest, and see, okay, how am I going to make my next plan? How am I going to move forward? You know, I want to achieve A, B, and C, but what am I going to adjust to be able to achieve it? That's what you do in the rest time. I have come to this no, I mean, in my resting period, I'm more productive. It's very funny, but that's just the truth. In the period that I'm supposed to be resting, that's when I turn to, you know, dive more into learning. Because I know when when the season starts, I will not have enough time for that. So I take the time to really read the books that I think will help me, build me, encourage me, motivate me. I take the time to read. I take the time to really, that's more the time that I really seek also the face of God more. Remember, retreat, take mini retreats. That's those periods that I really seek the face of God for. Help me. What is the next stage? Or even how have I been doing so far? We don't bother, but God cares, and He wants us also to ask those questions. Because if you want your boss to be giving you positive feedback, or to give you feedback on what you've been doing, how much more about our Father, right? So I'm like, I hope I'm still on track, and I hope if I'm not, please direct me, let me walk on your path. For the footsteps of the righteous are ordered by the Lord. So let me walk on your path. And I realize in those periods when I'm writing something, I always write things down. And it's unbelievable the things in a short time I can write down. So I realize for me it's more productive, because when the season starts and I take off, I redeem time. And that's why I said, in our rest, we redeem time. Because when you use those time to prepare, to actually soak in, you rest. It's not like you are being stressed. It's not like you need to learn very hard things, pass exams. So those pressure, you don't have those pressure. So you just take your time and then read something. And as you are reading, please have the habit of taking notes, because this computer, it forgets things. That hard drive, a lot comes in, so it forget things. So let's have cultivate the habit of writing things down. You can always go back to refer to when you forget, when you hear something interesting, or when sometimes I'll hear something, I'll be like, oh, okay, okay, let me pause. If I can write it, I write it down. And you realize those, once sometimes you'll be seeking inspiration, you go back to those things. You go back to those things that you've written down. You go back to them and be like, oh yeah, oh, I completely forgot about this, which is true, because new things are coming up. New problems are coming up for you to solve, so you will forget some things. So take the habit, make it a habit to write some things down. And as you're writing down, don't just write down and forget them. Once in a while, revisit. Because as you revisit, you elaborate, you have new ideas on that thing you have written down and start to elaborate. That's how inventions are made. That's how things become, first you get an idea. An idea is just something thrown out there. And then you start revisiting it. It becomes more and more clearer, how and what to do. As you revisit it each time, an aspect becomes more clear, another aspect becomes more clear, and then you can, um, yeah, deal with it better or know what to do. Good evening, patients. Momo, you are welcome. How are you doing? You're welcome. God bless you. How how are you? How is the family? So yeah, just take the time, write things down. And I'm just giving what has been helping me so far. So everyone, see what helps best for you. It's just advice I'm giving, like, but see what works best for you. But writing things down, I think, is something that will help every one of us. um, when you hear something that is good, write it down. Even when it concerns you, write it down. I remember I had a feedback, um, where I was working. The general coordinator um, was giving me feedback, but he was giving it orally. And so I was like, oh, let me write it down. And there are some things he said, I wrote it down. Almost everything that he said afterwards, I was like, oh, yeah, okay. I wrote everything down. And after writing it down, I just, each time we'll go visit it, like, okay, have I worked on some things, or is there anything that I need to improve on? And in my previous work, also, it's good to have feedback. And I had feedback from the assessments, the people that assess us. And so their feedback matched perfectly with the feedback, from the former coordinator, the other workplace. And then you realize, you as a person, really, if you are one, you will see it. If you play different person each time, those feedback will reflect it as well. So I was so happy that both you have to do some things on the computer, and the computer give feedback on your personality and character. The feedback that the assessment themselves, that they were seeing, they don't know me. It was just based on a few interactions. They gave their feedback, and then those that have been working with also, give their feedback. And I have this habit also of asking feedback from, like, now, from my students or anyone that I'm working with. um I ask them, even though I'm the maybe their boss, let's put it this way, because I've always been in a leadership position. I still ask for their feedback, like, okay, how am I doing? You know It's very important. Don't think, well, I'm the boss here, so I no one should give me feedback. Please, come on. We are all humans. We all have weaknesses. We all have working points. So please be open. And I tell them, please be open. Give me. If you think this area I'm not stepping up to it, I'm not doing well enough, just open up. There is difference between feedback and insult. So and at least I thank God for giving me the wisdom to be able to know when someone is insulting you and when it's really an honest feedback. It's called the spirit of discernment. So if you are able to discern, okay, this person is intentionally being negative, you will know. Then you also know the spirit of the person for next time. You know the spirit of the person, you know how to handle them. So that is how I also get to know the people that I'm dealing with more. If someone give me feedback in a way trying to push me, to um favor them, you also know, like, okay, this person want me to do A, B, and C because it will favor them. So you also know, and then you also know how to, deal with such people or address such people in the future. So these periods, let's not take them for granted. We Most of the time we overlook them. Let's not take them for granted because they help to shapen you, they help to build you up, they help to really, define who you are by the things that you are ready to let go and the new things that you are willing to learn and adapt to. Yes, my dear. He says what? Let me see. Adumola says the difference is clear between feedback and insult. Absolutely. Some will give insults in the name of giving feedback. That's why I wanted to. Some will package insult in a package of feedback. And so you will know. You will know when they're actually saying it to kind of bring you down in a way. You will know when someone is just being negative or want in a way to push you away from where you are. You also know the spirit of those people that are, you know, around you. And it helps me a lot. It's when you're working with people, you need to have that. You need to have um, that knowledge of how people are, and then you adapt to them individually. You don't change who you are, but you adapt yourself to them, to their, to meet them where they are. It doesn't change who you are, and it shouldn't change who you are. And that's why I'm saying I want, throughout all the different places where I've been, I've always, when the feedback that they give has always been constant, it has been consistent with who I am. So that tells me that, okay, I am like, I am this person that they've been, because I'm seeing this person coming. And so if there is anything new that is said, I'll be like, okay, how come I'm hearing this new? And then I reflect on it. Is it that I acted differently, or is it due to the role that I'm playing now? And then you try to figure out, or is it a bad habit that I'm developing? You try to find out what happened, how come. Look, what we have is you. What you have is you. So building yourself up should be your main focus. Building yourself up to become the best version of you should be your focus, because what you have is you. You don't have two yous. You don't have another somewhere. It's you and this world. After this death, it's appointed to a man to live and what? Die once. So after this, death. So you can't take it for granted and play around it. You understand? And we also know that death is not the end. So what you do here matters so much so that it determines your eternity. We need to become aware of these things and don't take things for granted. All right. By this time, I want to, because wait, let me show what patient said. Feedback is very necessary because it gives room for improvement in area we are lacking. Absolutely. And anyone that is really honest with you will will just give you as it is, not to bring you down, but will tell you the truth. You know, it's the same thing with parents. When you're dealing with your children, you have to be honest with them. Be honest and give what we call constructive feedback. Feedback that builds them up, not the ones that bring them down. Not those ones like, yeah, I don't. Sometimes the words that we use, we forget that there is power. There is power. They carry weight. They can bring them down. They can build and they can break them. So watch how you say it. And you don't give feedback to every child the same. I have three children, and each and every one of them have their own character. So the way I deal with the first one is not the same way I'll deal with the second one, because they all have their sensitivities. So I need to be very careful how I say, you know, A, B, and C. General feedback is for all of them. It's for all that is something that you'd be like, okay, all of you need to hear this. But when it comes to their individuality, I deal with them also according to how they respond and understand things. They are from a different age, so they will not understand things the same way. It's the same way you need to deal with people. You cannot deal with everyone the same way, and you should not expect people to deal with you the same way. I deal with the younger one who is 7, but very intelligent. There are words that come out of his mouth. I will have to look twice, like, seriously? Did you say that? But there are things, not because he says things, you know, in a way that I'll think, okay, he's open, that I will also, try to push too many things on him. So I try as much as possible to come to his level, to break things down for him to understand it. And then I said, I know you understand me. And then he said, yes. Okay, what did I say? He will repeat it, repackage it in his own words, how he understood it, so that I will know, did he understand what I said or not? And if I need to correct anywhere, then I correct. And I don't deal with him the same way I deal with the first one. I don't deal with the first one the same way I deal with the second one. So that is how I think we should, deal with people around us. Your friends, you cannot deal with them the same way because they all have their different characters. Your family members, they all have their different characters. So that same way you deal with people, expect them and make it as a standard that they should deal with you the way you are. They should study you and know how you are so that they can deal with you, and not just say things, say, me, that's me. Oh, no, 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 no. That's you, fine. It should be you to someone else, but don't be you like that around me. Be you around me as, you know, when you raise a certain standard, when people are around you, they will also watch it. They will also be careful. They also learn and be like, oh, okay, this person, let me watch it too. Maybe if I go and say this, the kind of questions that I'll get back, or, you know, and let me be clear. Be clear with what I want to say, so that when I go, I know what I'm saying, not just say things anyhow. So those things help us in a way. All right. Um, Joy, I would like to hear from you. Good evening, Bisola. How are you doing? I want to bring Joy online to help us to. Hey, Joy, is your network okay? Can you follow? Can you come so that you shine light also a bit on this topic? Thank you. Ademola, you say network. I beg, oh, let network work. Oh, yes, honesty matters. Honesty matters a lot. When it comes to giving feedback, you know, you cannot be saying A while in your heart you are saying something else. That is then being just false. That is deceitful. That's just deception. No, you can say like, "Oh, I did not want to hurt their feelings." Sometimes, in doing so, we um, we actually make situation worse. Having said that, I don't mean you have to go in, like say it anyhow. You need to be careful. There is a way that you give feedback. You need to be careful how you say it. Your message needs to be clear. It just has to be clear. And it needs to be tailor made to the person that you are giving that feedback to. Don't just go and throw things anyhow and say, well, I just needed you to know it, so I've said it. But to one, what is your aim? Why are you saying it? Are you saying it to hurt the person? Are you saying it to draw the attention to it that they will change? Are you saying what is your aim? What is the purpose of the feedback? If you get that clear, you also know how to, package it. And then in the language that the person can follow. Don't forget that we are speaking the same language does not mean we have the same understanding. That we are speaking the same English does not mean our level of understanding is the same. So speaking the code is one thing, but having the capacity to decode the code is something else. Language is a code, and you need to be able to decode it to understand it. So if you just know, okay, this, that, and that, but you cannot put it together and understand it well, then it's the message is missed. So really get to know who you are dealing with, how they understand things, and come to their level. Send a message in the language that they will understand so that they will now, understand you very well. They will come to your level and understand you very well because what you've gone to their level. Not all messages are understood the same way, please. We can be saying the same thing, but your understanding and my understanding to that same message will be different. Why? Because of how we've been taught, how we think, how we process information. Someone can say, well, I'm going. You're going where? How I understand it, oh, okay, my mind will already go, okay, the person needs to go this A, B, and C. While someone else will say, well, the person is leaving home. He's leaving, he's going, he's gone. So it depends on how we process things, how we perceive things, the culture we are coming from, how the language, how we understand it, so that we'll be able to process things well. So please, when giving feedback, don't think everyone understand or speak the same language. Everyone understand the codes that you use. They don't. I've learned it really um, dealing with people, different kinds of people. So you should I've come to realize, no, you don't deal with people the same way, and also you can't. What I have come to accept is that before when I lacked this understanding, you get easily hurt. Why? Because you're expecting people to understand you and treat you the same way you are treating them. And when that does not happen, you get hurt. And so before I was like, oh, but see, I'm doing all this and that and gradually, as we mature, we got to understand that you should not expect people to deal with you the same way that you would deal with them. And you have to have a certain level that you will understand or that you will accept. Good evening, my two guests are online. Let me not take too much of your time due to light and data. How are you all doing? Joy and Ademola, thank you for joining us. How are you doing?
Fine. Good
Fine, mom.
evening, ma.
Good evening. I'm so happy to have you guys. But Ademola, we can see you very well. Oh. Yes,
Yes,
how
there's
is
Can
no
you
it?
see me?
moment like it. Can you see me
Can you
now?
see me, or should I get
Yes,
the brighter
yes,
light?
I can see you. But Joy, you're a little bit
Okay.
dark there.
All right. Let me see if I can get a
But
brighter
I can
light.
see you.
Just 1 minute, please.
All right. Thank you. So, how are you doing?
I'm fine, mom. I'm fine, mom.
That's awesome. Nice to finally see you.
Little mom.
Thank you. So, as we've been discussing, renewal is such a it's a broad topic, but we can take it like, from rest. And I put on a few questions. I'm like, how do we actually make rest work in our favor? How can we use rest? Like, how can we use rest to favor us? Joy, can you help
Yeah.
us with that?
Okay. Resting is quite. I didn't even know that resting was this wide. Actually, yeah, it was
Yeah.
due to my research. That was when I discovered that what we Nigerians see as rest is actually is just like a fraction of
Exactly.
rest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now we all know what rest is. Rest is freedom from activity, freedom from labor, when you're free from work. That's rest in general. Now, it might interest us to know that we actually have two types of rest.
Mm-hmm.
We actually are, I don't know if there are more, but for this evening,
There
I'll
are more.
be dwelling on two types of rest. Now we have
Mm-hmm.
the passive rest and the active rest. We
Mm-hmm.
have the passive rest and the active rest. Now the passive rest is what we Nigerians are used to. Sleep, go away with your phones. Ah, today I really need to rest. I am tired. I'm
Exactly.
stressed out. I want to
Yes.
sleep. I don't need any disturbance. Nobody should
Just
shout. Nobody should
relaxing.
upload.
Rest.
You understand? Now,
Yes.
it's very interesting. I was just studying, I was just laughing. I said, "Ah, thank God for this. We are all learning, yeah."
Yes.
So that's the passive race. That's
Yeah.
what I am used to. That's what, let's say, 95% of Nigerians are used to. Now
Mm.
let's come to the active rest. The active rest is so wide, it's so broad. That's where the learning you were talking about come into place. That's
Mhm.
where the traveling, the vacation, and all of that come into place. And let
Mhm.
me shock you that even exercise is a
Is
kind
rest.
of rest.
Yes. Doing hobby,
Yes, and
meditating
funny
is
as
part of
it
one of it.
may
All
sound,
those things I brought, it's all part of it. Yeah.
exercise is a
Yeah.
kind of rest.
Yeah.
Trekking is a kind of rest.
Yes.
Massaging is a
Yes.
kind of rest.
You're right.
Yoga is a kind of rest. Prayer is a kind of rest. So rest is actually very broad. Now,
Mhm.
someone might want to ask, how can you say exercising is a kind of rest? For crying out loud, I'm stressing myself. I'm sweating. Breathing is a kind of rest. Yes,
Mhm.
breathe in, breathe out. Take a deep breath is a kind of rest. Now,
Mhm.
exercise is what it does to your body. It relieves you of stress. Now,
Yeah.
depending on the stress, we're talking about renewal now, right? We're
Mhm.
talking about
Mhm.
renewal. Now, what is
Mhm.
that aspect?
Yes, you're right.
What is
Sorry.
that? Okay. What is that aspect you want to renew? Now, you
Mm.
might be someone that is stressed out, like you're stressed out, you're stressed, you just want to feel refreshed, you just want to feel renewed. You can just take a jog early in the
Mhm.
morning. Eh, do you know that some people actually use boxing to
To
relieve
release
themselves of
stress.
stress?
Yep.
Boxing,
Perfect.
wrestling. You see somebody boxing and boxing and boxing and you'll be like,
Well,
ah, is
I
this
hope they
person
are not
has this
hitting
person gone
someone.
wrong? Yeah,
I
with
hope they are
all
not hitting
anger, with
someone.
all annoyance, yes. But
But the
when I
best thing.
saw it, the first time I saw that thing, yes, I actually watched it in a movie. I saw
Mm.
somebody saying That's how she relieves herself of stress. She was boxing with all anger, annoyance. I was like, is this person insane? Like, what are you doing to yourself? But thank God for this topic actually.
Yeah.
I have come to realize that you can actually ease your stress in so many ways. And
Different
boxing,
ways.
wrestling
Yes.
came. You
Yes.
see that after punching and punching and punching and punch, sometimes you scream it out, you shout. And after everything, you breathe in, you breathe out, and you are good to go.
But one thing that I always tell my people, which I also sometimes do to release stress, I beg not to be hitting people, oh, but at least just doing the movement. No, seriously, I'll play music and
No,
just
no, no,
be
that's what I'm
like,
not to hit people
when
now.
when
Like
when you're
that
so
boxing,
angry, like you want to wow, then it's just like imagine the what they say is imagine the person or the thing you're angry with is there, and just release
yeah,
everything.
yeah, you understand
I not to get
exactly.
me hitting people, oh, please.
So
Yeah.
wrestling is actually very wide, very, very wide.
Yes.
So that's
Yes.
it. So we have different kind of rest
Yeah.
that we can
Absolutely.
actually engage in. Yes, even I do most of them, but I didn't know it was a kind of rest.
It
Like
is.
at times when I'm stressed out now, I like being around positive people.
Mm.
Sometimes
Yes.
when it's draining, when I cannot really concentrate again, I just take a shower. I stroll out to my family members' place. We laugh, we gist, we talk, and
Mm.
before you know it, I'm free of such stress, and I'm
Mm.
coming back home relieved, I'm
Yeah.
renewed. That problem
Yeah.
that even took me out from the house, I've forgotten about it, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I got this under control. When
Mm.
there is life, there is hope. Everything will fall into place. So
Absolutely.
just stick
Yeah.
to the one that works for you. After there
Yeah.
was a time last month I was going nuts, like my whole week was ruined. I was facing something that it was really eating me up. I wanted to
Yes.
explode. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I couldn't take it again. I had to chat him, my CEO boss lady, Unstoppable
Mm.
Sunshine. So I just dropped a message. Can you talk? And she was like, for you, I can talk. Please, what's bothering you? So I called her and we spoke for more than 1 hour. More
Mm.
than 1 hour. So I poured out my mind and everything. And she was
Yeah.
like, because normally when she's stressed out, I always tell her, I got you, baby. So immediately she said that, I started laughing. She said, I got you, baby. So I started laughing. So after that call, like I was renewed, like it's just as
Yeah.
if she didn't actually do anything. Oh.
No, no, but
She
sometimes
didn't
what
even
you need
solve
is
the
just that
problem.
listening ear.
Do you understand? She
Yeah.
didn't even solve the problem because
Yeah.
I was actually expecting a call. The person has not even called. So, but that listening here, she telling me, you can do this. You got this under control. I know you. I know the kind of
Mm.
personality you have. I know you will handle this very well.
Yes.
Immediately
Yes.
after the call and everything, I was ready for whatever was coming with a
You're welcome,
positive
Debbie.
attitude. So the thing
Yes.
is, know what works for you. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be sleeping all the time. Sometimes when I'm resting, when I tell my husband, "Oh, I'm stressed out, I want to rest," and he sees me operating my phone, he will be like, "I thought you said you wanted to rest. Now, why are you still operating your phone?" I said, there are different ways to rest now. For the fact that I'm operating my phone doesn't mean I'm not resting. And he'll be like, no, if you're resting, you should not be doing anything. Now, that's the
Yes.
Nigerian mentality. But there are some things
Absolutely.
that interest you in that phone, actually, that even as you're doing that, you are relieving yourself
Mm-hmm.
of the stress you're going through. So stress is just know the one that will tackle that situation you're
Mm.
going through at
Very
that
true.
particular moment.
Hold on,
Just
my
know
dear.
the kind of
My
activity
dear,
that will
can you hold
tackle
on
it.
a bit? Let me let our dear sir
Okay.
also say something.
All right.
And then we come back to the second one. Okay, sir, please, can you also help us shine light a bit? Like, what have you learned under, rest, or how can we use rest to benefit us?
Yeah, actually, when I was it's just a great what was it called topic,
Mm-hmm.
and like what my lovely sister has said, you know, we would deprive ourselves of so many things,
Mm,
especially in that aspect of rest.
mm.
Actually, we Nigerians we don't rest at all. That's it.
It's not
So
only Nigerians, it's just many we miss we I think we have the wrong understanding of what rest is. And like you said, most of
Yeah,
us is like, oh, let me just sleep it off. And it's
yeah,
good if that's what your body needs at that time. That's good. But there are moments that you need to be deliberate about it. You need to take it and
yeah,
then know what you're doing
thank
in that period of rest.
yeah. And I'm talking
you.
about the
Please, can I come in, please? You said that most Nigerians don't race. Can I tell
yeah,
you now that most Nigeria actually rests, but
But
they
wrongly.
don't know that they are resting.
Yeah. They rest
yes,
wrongly
exactly.
because they are not
They
Yes,
intentional. They're
that's
not
actually
right. Yeah,
intentional
yeah.
with it.
but they don't know that
Yes,
they're
yes.
resting. Now, for the past few weeks, sorry, I'm taking your time. Sorry. For the past few weeks, like for 1 month now, like back to back, I enjoy going to church on Sundays. Now, do you know the main reason? The main reason why I say I enjoy going, I've been at least I don't miss I can't I don't miss church. I don't think I miss church on a Sunday every year. I don't. But I am telling you now that for the past 1 month, I don't miss church for just one reason, and that's
Mm,
the praise session,
mm,
like back to back now.
mm,
Now,
mm,
when I this is something I have been looking up to for the past 1 month. I am so intentional about it for this past 1 month because this is the period I pour out my grief, and
mm.
I don't know, I'm just so overwhelmed. If you check my profile now, you see every of our play session for the past few weeks now, because they'll be like, this one Joy just carried the praise on her head, what is going on? Do you understand? Now,
Yeah,
the kind of relief I feel after each praise is alarming.
yeah.
It's very, very alarming. Now, so the Nigerians' mentality, I am still in church, I am worshiping, I am not resting. But do
Mm-hmm.
you know what that praise section has done to the whole of my being?
Yeah, yeah.
Now, to the ordinary man, is not rest, but to
Mm.
me, that
It's
knows
right.
what I am doing, I am
Mm-hmm.
resting at that
Yes,
particular time. So
yes.
Nigerians
Because you are
actually are
distressing.
resting, but they
Yes,
don't know that they
that it
are
is.
resting. So that's
Yeah.
it, sir. Sorry, I
Okay,
took your
sir.
time. So you can
Oi, oi, oi.
I think it's good.
I think network.
I think the network putting off.
No, I think network. He'll come back. But you're
Yeah.
so right. I think the problem or the issue is it's not only most Nigerians, it's just that most of us we are not intentional during our
About
rest.
it.
And we
Exactly.
need to become
Exactly.
intentional and be, take the decisions like, okay, this is what I want to do, this is why, and the reason why you are doing it. Then you will know when you are getting refreshed or getting energized by it,
Exactly. That's
and
it.
not
That's it.
if it's something that is sucking energy from you, then it's not resting, then
Then
it's
it's
not,
not exactly. Then
it's
it's not rest. But if it's something that is renewing you, like each time you do this thing, you feel afresh, you feel
yes,
renewed, like you feel, wow, I think I'm
yes,
good to go. That's
yes.
rest has just taken place.
Yes. Good evening, Folashade. You are welcome. I'm doing fine. Thank you so much. And you? You're welcome. It's okay. You are welcome. Thanks for joining. It's okay. All right. So I'm so sorry we lost Ademola. I think it's yeah, either electricity problem. But anyways, Madam Teacher, tell us that my family, we are doing fine, Falashade. Thank you so much. We are doing fine. Like you said, we need to be intentional with our resting.
Yeah,
Um, and I said I am more productive in the period that I'm resting.
yeah.
Um, can you say that for yourself? Is it something that you can relate to?
Depending on the aspects you're looking at it from,
Mm,
depending on the aspects, some people get new ideas, inspiration when they're actually resting. So
mm,
you can actually learn
mm-hmm.
while resting, and you can rest while learning.
Learning, yes.
Do you
Mm-hmm.
understand? You can be
Yes,
resting and you are learning. You
yes.
can be learning and you are resting.
Mm-hmm.
That particular thing you're learning at that moment might be doing a lot in your
Yes,
system. So in
yes,
this context, you can say, I am resting.
yes,
So that's it.
yes, yes.
So you can
So,
actually be productive while you're resting.
yes. Now,
You
what I
can. You
mean,
just
what I mean by that is that, like you said, you get more inspiration. You write things down.
yeah.
So the time that I'm using to learn and write things down and rest at the same time, it's like it's a win-win. you know and then after that resting time, when the season of okay, now we need to kick and be busy kicks in, you find yourself actually moving with the time.
Yeah, it's just like a balloon ready to explode.
Exactly. you you
You're
feel
filled
you
the
feel
battery now.
yourself so much up
You
that
just
you're
want
like,
to
okay, yes,
explode
let's go.
everything.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Yes, it's busy, but let's go. Check, check, check. So you realize that the time that you use to prepare yourself in that resting period actually pays off.
Mhm.
That's what I mean with
Yeah,
being productive.
you're not very productive. And
Yes,
that's the whole essence of rest,
yes,
to be productive when the
yes,
need arise. So
yes,
that's what it's saying. If
yes.
after resting you are not productive, then rest hasn't taken place. Rest
No,
hasn't taken place.
no, it has been
So
busy
after
all through.
resting, you should be productive.
Yes,
That's it.
yes. So another this thing, like we are talking about learning, and like you said, you rightly said, there are situations that you actually can be learning while resting.
Yeah.
And you can also turn it around and be resting while learning. Some
Yeah.
people will not see it like, oh, but if I'm learning, I'm not resting.
You are.
um yeah, for me I am, but i
Yeah.
think i think it depends on what learning then is, because like
What
for a
no,
student.
it depends on what resting is actually to you.
Yes, but also
I
what,
think
because for a student, for example, it's not
okay,
resting. Yeah, because that
okay,
is their main activity. So
okay,
for
the
a student,
learning.
for example, the learning is not, I mean, what they need to learn. I think it also depends on what you are learning. What they need to learn
Yeah.
at that period is not something that is giving them rest. Instead, bro, it will be causing stress because they need to learn it to take exams, show that they know it. So I think it's in that context. Someone might say, "Yeah, but
Okay,
for
okay,
me,
okay, I get it
it's not
now.
it's not
Okay,
resting." Yeah,
okay, okay. Okay,
but in
I
the
get the context.
aspect that we are taking it, or we want people to understand, is that you learn like to add value to your life. If
So
studying for
yeah,
something is also adding, but that one is like your major activity, that is the cause of your stress. But in this case, if you take time to learn, read things, that you don't have the pressure of I need to take exams, you don't have the pressure of I need to show that I know this. It's more to build you up. It's a different perspective, it's in a different way that you take it. And that
yeah,
is what you actually need to do when you are resting.
true.
Don't take so much time off and be like the passive rest that we just described, like watching TV. Scroll. No, seriously, a lot of people say they don't
I
have
think
time.
as we were speaking, something just came into my mind. Do you know
Mm,
that even this stress you're talking about, like this learning and stressing yourself, you just talked about now, like
mm,
you want to overcome, you want to prove yourself. So in this aspect now you're learning. Now this is not
mm,
rest because you're stressed out.
mm,
But do you know that this can still be classified as rest because now you're trying to prove yourself and you want to do everything to make sure this thing you make a point, you prove a
mm.
point that okay, I can actually do this thing. And do you know the fulfillment, the renewal you get when that thing finally scale through?
Yes.
You feel renewed, you feel wow. So I actually did this. And at that point, everything that comes to your mind is mind blowing. Like when the
Mm-hmm.
result is out and
Mm,
you actually actualize what you wanted to, you see
mm.
that you feel renewed. Like
Yes.
you'll be like the stress was actually worth it. Now at that time you can still classify it as, oh, so the stress I went through during this period gave birth to this thing I just experienced now.
Exactly.
So that's why I said, depending on the context you're looking at it from,
Yeah.
as long as there is productivity at the end
Mm,
of the day,
mm.
as long as there's productivity, is when
Yeah.
you're not producing anything good. That's when it starts draining you. But
And
if
that's
the
why I think,
result is there,
yes.
I think
And I
I
think
think
motivation comes in. If you
yeah,
are
yes, exactly.
motivated to do something, you don't see it as work. You don't see it as labor. You don't see it as really, I
Strength
need to stress. Even if the stress is there, because you have this motivation, you
to
really
do
give
it.
your all and go in for
Mhm.
it. And then you are happy with the result at the end. Like, yes, my hard work paid off. But people that are, when motivated is external, when motivation comes externally, people are pushing you, cheering you. Yes, at the end
True.
of the day, what you have done is just to please them. But when it's internal motivation, it's a complete different thing. And then it is what you are talking about. Like you feel the stress, but it's like something that gives you the edge. Like, okay, yes, come on, we can do it. Let's go. You don't need an external force to motivate you. It's already in there.
Exactly.
You want to do it. And then when you eventually finalize it, you're like, yes, that fulfillment that you get. You're like,
True.
see, I can do it. But in the case that people, you have some courses that you just have to take it, and some people really suffer for some courses.
True.
Some people like me, statistics. Oh, statistics was not part
Wow.
of my major. Oh, I suffer for statistics. So I'm like,
Aw,
I need to go for this one. Ay, ay, ay. So already just thinking about it was giving me stress.
yeah, I can imagine.
Thinking about it was giving me stress. And then now you really kind of like need to go sit the exams and do it. And afterwards, I'm just like, I'm happy with whatever I get. Like, I don't need to whatever
Yeah,
I get, I'm okay with it. So you see that it's completely different. While sociology or other this thing were like, yes, come, bring it on. And it reading through those courses gives me more energy, because as I read about this sociologist or this person or this theory, I want to know more. Why? Because that's where my interest is. And then it doesn't become the stress is different. Yes, the exams is there, but the stress is I want to show that I can do it. And that stress is the extra motivation, the extra push that you need. And
yeah,
that's, I think, where we need to balance it. For some people, my dear sister, learning is stressful.
true, true.
Learning is stress, and we need to get to that level that we can have some things that we would love to do, love to learn for our own good.
Yeah,
Let that motivation come from within us, that we say, okay, let's go for it and give our
true,
all and do it well.
true,
Good
true.
evening, Oluchi. You are welcome. Now I can say you are late. How are you? You're welcome. So there is so much that we can learn in our rest. There is
Yeah.
so much that we can also.
So at this point, I think it is safe to say that definition of rest as a period of not doing anything,
Mm,
freedom from activities, or freedom of every form of work. I think we actually need to modify it. I
yes,
think it actually needs to be modified because now we can see that you can
yes,
actually rest by different means. But please, oh,
yes,
if that stress you're going through requires you staying away from every form of work, please do. Oh. Don't say
mm.
Madam Teacher and become said you should not sleep, not rest. Please and please, if the stress requires you sleeping to cool off, or abstaining from every kind of work, please do. I say just I say just know the kind of stress you are going
Exactly.
through and know how
How to
well
work.
to
Yeah.
manage it. So that's
Yes. Yeah, sometimes taking a walk, someone was like hand trekking. But yes, sometimes taking a walk around, just walking helps a lot.
yeah,
Because as you are walking and not engaging in any other activity, just walking, if you are conscious about it, you start to order your thoughts. And so the things
true.
that come in mind or the things that you need to deal with, you start dealing with them, one by one. And some just even walking and being angry and also it, releasing it out helps
Yeah.
in a way to calm your mind down, and then you can now process things better. So take a walk. We don't have the habit of actually walking. We walk for things. We walk for to buy things. We walk to, but we don't really take like, okay, I don't have anything doing. Let me just take a stroll. Let me just walk. We don't do that
No.
in Africa quite a lot. Um, well, maybe our roads are also not made for it.
And besides, the way Nigeria is now, you don't trek for just fun. You trek
Fun,
because of
no.
Western.
Exactly. So so it's a different way of, but it will still be good if we can find ways to because sometimes like my children love to want to go to camping, and they my husband will always be like, you can go, I've seen enough bush to go. You people want to go for camping, no problem, you can go, but me, I don't want to go for camping because I've seen enough bush.
Ah,
So
yeah.
it's a kind of what you are used to, and for them, that's a way of like, okay, I just want to go away from the busyness, from the stress, from everything,
True.
and just go and camp. And both we are like, I also love camping, but I'm sometimes also like, yeah,
Oluchi said the best form of rest is
it's
to
sleep.
sleep.
Yeah.
Not
It's not
really.
always the case. So see why you came
Not
late. You
really.
missed a
Oluchi,
lot.
not really.
You missed a lot.
If anyone, can you be serious for once? If anyone, we are civil here. We are civil. Don't be uncivil, please.
Oh my
That is
goodness.
my village people that will not let me rest.
Yeah. So yeah, there are some things we know that in the context in which you live, if it's not possible, or it can sometimes block you also from trying to do some things. But
Yeah,
nowadays we see a lot of people jogging. You can jog. Jogging is not a, you can jog, you can do some physical activities that is different from work.
true.
Just to
So
release, just to calm your mind down, and it just helps. If you can't, put on music, dance.
and dance. I'm telling you, you
Dance,
dance away your sorrow. Oh God,
just
me. After that,
dancing,
you take a shower and you are good to go.
like nothing happened. That's what I do. I just dance. I'll be like just me, myself, and my children when they join in, we dance. Afterwards, I'm okay. So
That's
do
true.
what you know is best for you to de-stress, to wind down, and you realize that when the mind, because this thing is computer on its own, but it is not it is not unlimited. So you need to remove some things. Remove some things. But you can only remove some things by just cooling it down. How do you cool it down? Do some activities. Yes, sleep is important. Sleep is very important. But if you sleep a lot, you are sleeping away time. And that will not make you productive. Sleep is very important.
Exactly.
We need to get
And
enough rest.
when sleep, you wake up, you still wake up to the stress. You still wake up to the
Mm,
stress. So sleep is
yes.
always not the answer. Sleep
No,
is always
sleep
not
is
the
important.
answer.
Yes, you need to rest your body. But if the rest, the stress is in your head,
The mental
sleep
health,
alone
the
will not.
renewal of non-self, that's what we're talking about now.
Yes,
Not the
yes.
physical body per
No,
se.
no. Not only the physical body enjoys or benefits when the soul is healthy. So you need
Yeah.
to take and give attention also to the soul. And these are the things that we are talking about that you can do to release to tensions from the soul, from your spirit, from your mind. You understand? And
Sure.
then your physical body benefits from it as well. So yes, you are doing sports.
So
It benefiting your body, but also your mind because it bringing down a whole lot of things that overclouding you, that is, putting pressure and even causing depression. You can release them before it reach that level. Call someone to talk, but as long as it's not gossip, we need to differentiate between gossiping and just
that's
talking to.
that's actually my hobby. Wow. I like talking, I like gisting when I'm stressed. Seriously. I just go to my sister in law's place. Those people they have the antidote to all my stress. I come back
Awesome.
home, I come back refreshed,
Refreshed,
renewed.
renewed. Yes. That's what we are talking about. What can you do to renew yourself? Ademola is back. Joy, let me
All right.
bring him in.
Okay.
All right, sir. Can you also add a bit light to us? We've been talking. Sorry, it was electricity, Abby.
No, not even that. My data got finished. That's why.
Ah, sorry,
Um,
sorry,
so
So
sorry. So please shine light to the topic, please.
paramount for us to have what we call rest. And
Mm,
according to what Madam Joy has already said, she has said it all. You know, that's why it is advisable for us to have enough sleep.
mm,
Uh, because this is part of our physical rest. So
mm,
and it's advisable for us to sleep like seven, let me say 7 to 9 hours. 7 to 9 hours. Then also, according to what she said as well, she said exercise. Yes, regular exercise is very, very essential.
mm.
Because like me now, I make sure I do that exercise every Saturday. We men now we play football. So uh,
Mhm.
so and then the aspect of this massage, yes, massage of the thing is very good for us as well. So then in the aspect of we have the mental rest as well,
Mm,
where
mm,
we take a walk. It's part of resting as well. It's part of resting as well. But we take a walk. It's part of resting.
yeah.
Then um, reading, reading as well.
Wale
Mm,
can
Yes,
well done.
reading is very,
mm,
very important. So
mm,
it's renew our mind as well. It renew
mm,
our mind as well, which is very, very paramount. Which is very, very
mhm.
paramount. And what I want to say as well is that
Yes.
when you are relaxed,
Sorry, sir. Let me answer this. Someone as is cooking also rest.
Wale
Yes,
can
if it's your hobby. No. If cooking is your hobby, it's resting. If
yes,
cooking
if
is
it's
your
something
cooking
hobby,
is
you
your hobby,
enjoy
part of it
doing,
as
if
well.
it's
Yeah,
something
it's
there
part
are
of
like
it as
me,
well.
I
there are
don't
days
enjoy
I love
cooking.
to cook. I
I
love to
don't.
cook when I have the time.
I don't
So
love to
when
cook.
I'm cooking like this, I there is joy
You
in
feel
me.
relieved. You feel relieved.
Exactly. But only when it's in the busy period, then it becomes a problem. You understand? So yes, cooking can be rest if it's your hobby.
So it's part of it now. It can be. It can be. People are so funny, sha. Yeah, it can be part of it now as well. Well, if cooking is your hobby, it's
Yes.
part of race as well. Because
Yes.
this aspect of this race is very wide enough. It's very
Mm-hmm.
wide. It's very, very
Mm-hmm.
wide. It's very, very wide.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So yeah, anything so because we talk about hobby, doing hobby to rest. So if cooking is your hobby, why not? Why not? I know someone that if you give her from morning to evening to cook, as long as she has the time for it, she will do different dishes, make, and at the end, she's tired though, but her joy is I see the
Enjoy
seeing the
it.
people and seeing the food and everything. That's her joy. So yes. I used to bake a lot. Baking used to be my children are complain like, Mama, you don't bake anymore. I'm like, yes, I don't have the time for it, and I need to create that time. I enjoy creating it, and
Since you
just
enjoy
also
it,
the
you just have to
creativity of
continue to
making it and decorating and stuff like that was
do
just
it.
something that I love
Engage,
doing.
engaging yourself in it. You are engaging
Yes.
yourself in it. Yes. No.
Bisola says it's not my hobby. Yes, that is not. It's not resting. It's work. Yes, that is work. It's not. It's not
So
no more
we
resting.
should embrace learning as a form of rest,
Mm,
and we should embrace learning as a form of rest because it helps us to recharge our mind and expand knowledge. You
mm-hmm,
understand, and cultivate the habit of it makes our the growth of our mindset as well. So it's very, very important.
mm.
So
My dear Bisola, you can when we are talking about, when you are stressed out, you need to rest. You need to find a way to channel that stress out. And
yeah,
so, like, that's what we are talking about with this whole resting. It's not only about sleeping, because when you sleep and wake up,
everything
if the
about
stress
sleeping.
is
Yeah,
here, it's going to be there. There is a different thing feeling, being your body being tired. Then when you rest enough, when you sleep enough, yeah, you regain yourself. But when the stress, it's really, mentally, you are mentally stressed.
stress.
Only sleeping is not going to solve it. You need to do
No,
things, engage
yeah,
yourself in the
engage
things
yourself.
that will help you, energize you, give you energy, and reduce that stress tension, that things that causes you stress. Reduce it. Then you realize that you gain more energy from those things that
Yes,
you're engaging
exactly.
yourself from. That's
Yes,
what we are talking about hobby. Look for those things that you love doing. Joy said like she loved going to the praise and worship session now in church because when she dance, she it gives her that
yes,
energy.
it
That
just add
so
the
look for
energy.
those things that will reduce your stress level, instead build you up, because
Like me now, when I'm stressed up, I prefer, I prefer taking nap.
mm,
So or I take a walk,
mm,
or I go out to go and play football.
mm,
So it's everybody has his own different
way.
way of taking
Mm-hmm,
a rest.
mm-hmm,
Like we now, if like me now, if I'm stressed up, I know that I need exercise. So
mm.
I will do more of exercise. Then when I'm done with the exercise, I feel relieved.
Yes, yes, exactly.
So
So, like,
and
like
that's
we
why
gave the example, even if it is to be beating someone imaginary,
do you know that
boxing with someone,
anybody exercise
not
to
for
rest
real,
enough?
but just imagine you standing in front of someone and just punching. Do it.
That's another person's perspective.
Exactly.
So
If that
uh,
helps you, fine,
yeah,
do
yes.
it.
So
But
if it is
look for
cooking that
that
helps you to
one
find,
that helps
and
for you, that works for you.
and for example now we have people I have a friend of mine like that. Whenever he's stressed up like that, he will just take his time. Uh, it will be reading novel. It's like a
Yes.
living model and then relax himself.
Yeah.
And within few minutes is okay.
Mm.
So everybody's perspective is different.
Be
And that's why
different.
it is
Yeah.
very, very paramount for we to have rest because of this
Yes.
our body is
Yes.
very, very important. Even
It's
when you
so
wake up
so
in the morning at
important.
times you feel tired. You
Yes.
feel tired. But when you exercise yourself or you just take a walk, and your body will come back to normal.
Yes.
So that's it.
That's just it. And I want to, because we've gone over time, and which is great. I would love to continue this topic next week and go,
Yeah.
further,
Okay.
so that we save our data as well.
All right.
And I just want to appreciate you so much, Ademola, and I appreciate Joy too so much. I don't know what happened that she went off. But
Okay.
I appreciate both of you so much for coming here to share your thoughts with us. But what I want to leave us with this evening is, like we've already said, you know, don't just see rest as sleeping.
Yes.
Don't just look at the passive rest, but look at the other ways that you can,
Other ways. Yes.
actually
Other
build
ways you can
yourself up.
observe it. Yes. Yes.
Exactly. Build
Yes.
yourself up, because when you are sleeping, yes, you are resting your body, but too much of sleep also makes you lazy, and
Yes. So
it
yes.
doesn't help
Yes.
at all.
At all. Yes.
It doesn't help
When you
at all.
too
So
much, you make you weak at times.
exactly. So you
Yes.
should know the necessary sleep, rest, body. You everyone have their own body type. So look for
Yes.
the sleep that fits you, and come out
Yes.
of that laziness of, yeah, I need to sleep every time. No, sometimes, like we said, take a book. It doesn't if it's not novel or whatever, something that really is of interest, that can
Yes.
help you, build you
Everybody.
up, or just take your mind off that thing
Oh.
which is causing you stress, so that
Yes.
you take
Yes.
your mind off, and then you can gain strength. You understand? Because
Yes.
if you have strength, then you can handle also what is ahead. It's not that the stress, or you not come across situations that will cause you stress, but then you can handle them also better. And those breaks, those rest period is really necessary. They are so
Necessary.
necessary, because our body is not made to just go all round. No, 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 no.
Right.
God
It's
made
very
it in a way. That's why he said rest on this. He said God rested. It's not that God needed rest, but he laid down the template
he
for
has
us to
to. Yes.
follow,
He has to. Yes.
that
Because
we need to rest as long as we are here on this earth, in this body.
yes.
We need to rest. Madam Joy is back, but we are going to round up now, so that next week, Joy, please, next week we are going to go deeper into this
We go
again.
deeper.
So
Yes.
you
Okay, all
you've
right.
handled the,
My
the resting part, why is important, and how it can be productive. I want us to come again also to the go a bit deeper in the learning part, and why
Okay.
we
okay.
need to engage in learning as we are
All right.
resting. How can that benefit us, like, um while we are resting? All right.
All
Okay.
right.
So thank
Um,
you both so much for your time.
yeah.
Thank you so so much. I really appreciate you guys. It was on a short notice, and you said yes. I really thank you. God
Always
bless you.
welcome. God bless you
That
too.
okay.
Amen.
Awesome.
And all of you that watched, all of you that participated, I want to say a big thank you, and hope to see you next week. As you can see, this is very, very interesting. There's a different thing saying and talking about it, but like I said, the more we hammer on things, maybe we can start now, doing something about it. So
Yes.
Yeah.
that's my whole purpose with Discovery Time, that we try to hammer on things that will help us. Okay, let's just take action, and then
Sure.
help us one way or the other. So thank you all
Oh.
so so much. God bless
Welcome.
you, and
God
see
bless
All
you
right.
you.
next week by his grace.
Okay.
Okay, good night.
Good
Bye.
night, ma.
Bye.